I have been married to my husband 20 years. We are not a particularly wealthy family, but we have a nice house to live in, and I have lived a normal but peaceful life. We were fortunate enough to have two children. Our son, Tyler, is currently studying at a college nearby. I told him not to worry about tuition, but he insisted on receiving a school because he was studying for his own. Our daughter, Jen, is in high school. When I come home late from work, my wife is always waiting up for me. She voluntarily helps around the house. I am very grateful to her. One day I received some wonderful news from my husband. He says he has been promoted. He had been working so hard all these years. He has been transferred to a different department as well as promoted. How amazing! I'm so happy for you. I've been watching him devoting him this job, so I am thrilled at the news. I am also excited that this may also mean a raise. To celebrate, the children and I decided to prepare a special dinner. The next day, Jen and I cook everything that James and Tyler brought home a cake that he had made with his own money. James is delighted and he eats everything, saying that it's all delicious. Once we have eaten all the food and are going through cake, James says something unbelievable.
I'm actually going out at work.
What do you mean by that? Unable to understand what he just said. The children don't seem to understand either. James continues.
She says she is pregnant. This is my house, so you all have to...
I start to panic. Wait a moment. Do you even understand what you're saying?
She's 10 years younger than me and gorgeous. I'm not interested in an old woman anymore.
The children are staring at James. Seeing them, he says.
And you're adults now. You can manage by yourselves, right?
Tyler is angry and shouts.
You must be kidding me. You can say that to me, but Jen's so in high school.
He looks like he could punch anyone at any moment.
A girl doesn't need education. There'll always be ways to earn money if she sells herself.
I feel as if everything is frozen for a moment. However, anger rises up from inside, and I hear myself screaming at my husband, "Get out of the car! Get out of the car!" What are you saying? How can you to your own daughter? I can't believe it. While I'm shouting at him, I see Jen crying, and she runs to her own room.
You are no father to me. I'm leaving this house, as you wish, but I'm never forgiving you for hurting me and Jen.
Tyler then storms out following Jen. James and I are left in the living. A silence continues. After a while, James says,
Okay, so that's that. I'll give you a generous one more week. Before leaving this house, I want to thank you for your hospitality.
Okay, but I'm taking custody of the child.
I'm having a new kid, so I have no them. You do as you wish.
Okay then, don't come complaining whatever happens though. James answers without even looking.
Are you out of your mind? After all, life is too short to be unhappy.
This was supposed to be a night for the family to celebrate James' promotion, but it became the night that everything we had built up until now completely collapsed. The following day, I ask a friend who has been through, please introduce me to a lawyer who can help me with my case. With my friend's advice, I reach out to a private detective and ask them to investigate my husband. This also allows me to find out more about his lover. Apparently, she is a temporary work James' office. She does seem pretty, but she has a sort of calculated prettiness about her. I guess this is the kind of girl that I'll fall for. These are my thoughts as I listen to the report from the... Since then, I have rented a new apartment and moved in with my children. As I work full-time and save money, I am able to afford a trip like this. It's all working out somehow. Jen seems to have calmed down now that she's away from James, and we're in a much better position now. Once we have enough evidence, I talk to my lawyer and decide to discuss with my husband about our divorce, with my lawyer attending as well. On the day of the discussion, I suggest going to the house that we previously lived in with my lawyer. James snorts, says,
There's no need for a lawyer.
"You are always so dramatic, and laughs, but I try to stay calm and not react. However, inside my mind, I am thrust table at my husband and beating him up with a chair. It seems his lover is already living in this house. All the furniture and curtains have been replaced, and the house has been decorated with a fresh coat of paint throughout. Pink curtains with cute little flowers on them. She must have chosen them. Imagining her making these decisions, it makes me want to throw up. The lover, whose name I have learned is Heather, is also there. She says,
This has nothing to do with me.
She seems to be angry. In my head, I think it has everything to do with you. You want to be beaten up with this too? And I feel like I'm about to explode. My lawyer tells James and Heather that we will be requesting a compensation. When Heather hears this, she goes,
Why on earth do I have to pay? I thought girls don't need to pay.
So you're the one that's angry? It's shocking to think that someone with a mind like this actually exists in this world. My lawyer seems used to this kind of situation, and he continues calmly.
Excuse me, but yes, you do have to. I am writing to request compensation on behalf of my client. You're the reason why this couple is getting a divorce. Do you understand your own position?
No, the reason is that this old one wasn't attractive enough.
I am so glad that my lawyer is here. If he wasn't here, I would probably have this girl so hard. You are very lucky, little girl. While these thoughts are going through my mind, Heather picks up a cup which had cone. It's a good thing I'm quick on my feet because he throws it at me.
Do something. You do know that I'm carrying your baby, don't you?
Heather snuggles up to James as she this. Excuse me, I can hit her now. Right? Please, can I hit her? I say to my lawyer, I've had enough, and lends me a handkerchief. You want me to still stay calm? James has this horrible smile on his face with Heather snuggling up to him. I want to bury the both of them. I take out the divorce papers that prepared. James signs them and says,
Good. We have nothing to do with AE anymore. I'm paying you the compensation, so come near us again.
I sign the papers too, hand them to my lawyer, and ask him to submit them straight away. Once he is gone, James says,
You two, hurry up and go.
and tries to get me to leave. However, I have been waiting all this time to see if you would come back. Can you tell me where I can find a good place to eat around here? What is your favorite color? That baby, is it really my husband? You can tell that the atmosphere in has changed. Heather's eyebrows twitch ever so as, and it seems as comment. And it seems as if the gravity in this room has grown.
What are you talking about? Of course, it's my child, right?
How can you say something like that? I calmly place some documents onto. My husband wasn't the only one you were dating. I know you're spending a lot of money as an aspiring musician.
What are you talking about? You must be crazy, old woman.
I feel much better now. I take a deep breath and say, slowly and calmly, I had a detective look into you too. It seemed odd why a young and pretty like you. I would like to come anywhere near an old man like James with the documents that I had placed on. Report what was happening around Heat. There are photos of her with the musician. He has been working on a new album that will be released in 201. Or being very intimate with him. James looks at the reports, turning.
What is this?
What do you think about the idea of a new project?
But she can only say no, it's not looking like
And can't seem to come up with a good idea. With a satisfactory explanation, James is furious with Heather and he's screaming at her.
Were you lying to me, you whore?
What? You should be happy that a cute girl like me would ever want to go out with you. And this is your child. You said you'd take responsibility.
I can't believe anything you say.
Seeing these two bickering in front, I am lost for words. It seems almost funny now to think that I was angry and upset by these terrible human beings. Well, it's none of my business who father is. We're divorced now. James panics and says,
Wait, I didn't mean any of it.
I reply, and he says,
It's just,
you just need to shut up. James has tears in his eyes, but I have nothing else to say to him. Goodbye.
wait,
He is still begging me, and Heather screaming, but I leave the house. Later, I heard that Heather had given birth. Her child, however, has dark skin, though both Heather and James are white. She insisted right until the moment. This was James' child. I hear they both went crazy when the baby. It seems Heather was not only going out with James and the musician, also white, but many other men as well, including an African American man. We can only assume. Soon after this, James kicks Heather. I hear that she returned to her house. The compensation from Heather is by her parents. I received a letter of apology through my lawyer. James has no place at the office and it seemed that he could no longer bear all the whispering about him, and it's such a shame. He had just received his promotion. Well, he only has himself to blame, and I'm just so concerned about the baby's future. I don't pity Heather at all, but I am just worried about the baby. James can't seem to find a new job, so he's paying me compensation while working several part-time jobs day and night. I am living a happy life with my child. My son, Tyler, still says he wants to beat his father up. But each time he says this, I tell him that James is not worth and that this would not be good for himself. He listens to me. My daughter Jen has recovered from shock and she is enjoying her high school experience. I don't mind if my two children make mistakes in life, but I hope they will grow up to be honest people.